Somebody's listening.
I'll do sign language.
Okay. Okay, it's all. Now that's the one where you turn on.
Did it get close?
Oh,
Not,
that's
I don't know where they're at. They're collecting money.
Steel on I would think steel. Maybe not.
Yeah,
On the
I would think so too.
Steel.
It's a steep pitch. It's like a 12-12. Like it's-
okay. You're on. Cliff, you're on.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight's meeting. We're going to start the meeting at 7:34, and it is April 22nd, 2024. Would you stand for a pledge and short devotion? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you that we could gather here tonight, and we just ask that you watch over all those residents of our township and the employees as well that help to serve and make our community great. It's in your name. Amen. Quick point of reference, Mr. Pirro could not make it tonight, so he'll be absent for the meeting, so we'll roll call this meeting. Do we have any additions or subtractions to the minutes?
I don't.
Okay, I do not either. I've got a couple things in fire, but we'll go over that when we get there. Wonderful. All right, we had a chance to look over the minutes for 4/8/2024.
Trustee Griffith will motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Roll call?
Griffith,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes. Treasurer's report is next. Do you have any questions of the treasurer's report?
No, Trustee Griffith will motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Roll call?
Griffith,
Yes.
Barron.
Yes. Wonderful. All right. Moving right along. Public speaks. As I see none, we'll move on to fire. Chief Parker.
Okay. I have an update on 241. I did receive I received a quote back from Advantech, and then I did speak to the adjuster, and he said it is on us to tell them to go ahead and do that if that is. So I did talk to Advantech and told them to go ahead and order the parts. That was
Okay.
with the blessing of the adjuster.
Great. Just as a heads up to everybody, we have two quotes for the fire for engine 241, $22,000 and $23,000. They were $1,000 off, so we felt pretty good that it was a valid quote. And what is our deductible on that, Brian? Do you know?
50.
$500.
500. Okay. So
There's also other bills will be turned in. We have a.
yeah, there'll be a
front
supplement on.
alignment. We
Yeah,
have
they'll,
front alignment.
they'll probably handle the front alignment as a supplement on the insurance.
So what all did they say was wrong?
Well, they're gonna. I mean, as far as the quote goes, they're gonna repair the bumper and repair the body damage.
Yes.
Mhm. And I don't know if it needs a hubcap or if they're gonna get a new one.
That was part of the alignment debacle. They couldn't get it back on.
Okay, all right. So they're gonna get it back in working order. Do we, was there any conversation about period of time out of service?
There was not. They
Okay.
ordered the parts first, and then we should have a better idea.
personnel responded at 9205 Street Southeast for a 1-month-old. Just took a new medicine, is currently aspirating the medicine.
So I had a couple of questions, and I don't know, so a couple of them are billing questions, so I don't know how you want to.
Amy, before we move on from the fire engine, do we need to do anything else
With the engine?
with the estimate and everything? So the adjuster said, you tell them to go, and then we turn the bill into the adjuster, the adjuster
Yes.
takes over from there?
They will release
Okay.
payment to us.
Okay.
And then we will make
All right.
payment.
Do
on it.
we have a motion in place, Brian, to fix it at that price?
Nothing's been made into a motion to do anything right now. But my question is, if you're going to be the contact person, which I think you should be because you have the information, that everything needs turned into that adjuster.
Yes,
So do you have a copy of the front end alignment?
I do not.
Because he needs to know that because that'll have a bearing on what the check would be
Correct.
and the balance that we would then.
I do not have anything on the
Okay.
front end alignment.
I want to make sure I'll email it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Because I
is
don't
there
think we
any other
motioned to
costs?
fix anything yet.
Not as
No,
of
we
yet.
haven't.
Okay, all right.
So how does that work in an insurance claim? How does that work for a motion? We motion to pay the $500. We
You
motion
want
to,
to make a motion for who you
Repair.
decided, who you picked,
okay,
and that
Advantech.
Chief Parker will be turning in the billing, the information to the insurance company.
And we're gonna put Otarma in here as the
That's
insurance,
who-
insured.
That's who's getting it.
And
It's
500 is
it's actually our
deductible?
claim representative. from
Okay.
Oklahoma.
All right, I'll go ahead and make that motion. Do you need to get that? Okay. Trustee Varian makes a motion to repair engine 241 through Otarma. Insurance will be turned in. We have a $500 deductible, and we have a $22,000 quote for repairs with an addition of a front end alignment. And Advantech will be doing the repairs and working with Chief Parker as the contact to talk about a couple of details and when the truck will be out of service.
Trustee Griffith will second.
Roll call, Griffith,
Yes.
Varian.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Sorry, you can go on to that next one, Amy.
The paperwork that I was sent from Aero Claims Service has on here that our deductible is $250. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's something you need to check on.
Okay,
That's what he has on there.
all right. We will check in on that. Okay.
So I have two bills from transport that were turned into me. Both of them are from members. So one was, we had a member on a call that was transported, one of our members that was transported by Louisville. And then we had one where my partner at the station was transported by Louisville. So both of them received hard bills from Louisville because they are not residents of Louisville. We also still have a transport open that we had talked about in executive session, and that is still open with Ohio Billing. So I didn't know what we wanted to do with any of these, how
So
we
these are
wanted to handle
Two of our firefighters?
They are, that were working and were transported by Louisville.
Were they injured on the job or because of their work?
So one of them passed out on a call, and that person was transported then.
Okay.
And the other one was at work and passed out at work. So he was not on a call, it was at the station.
But they were on,
On duty,
They were on duty.
yes. And that second one is a resident of Osnaburg Township.
Yeah, the
I don't know if
second,
that
yeah.
makes any difference. or
What
not.
are the bills from Louisville? What are the costs?
So one of them is for $878 and one of them is for $950. They're both hard
We have
bills.
to turn these into our Ohio billing and go through the proper channels.
Okay,
Yeah.
this already hasn't been through Ohio Billing?
Yeah, because if Louisville.
'Cause Louisville
sent
billed it
to us,
directly.
We still have to submit them in.
So they are
and then
from
before-
Ohio Billing
Yep.
to those people.
So it's not directly from Louisville, it's from Ohio Billing.
Yes.
Those are both from Ohio billing?
This one
They're
came
not from Louisville?
This one is, for sure. This
Then
one says
we-
Ohio Billing on it.
We need, I need time to look these over.
Yep.
Because one of them, the one that's from Ohio billing, we got to get the information right on our end, then you can make your motion. The other one, if it's directly from Louisville, has to be at least presented to Ohio billing by us. We can do it at our end, and then you can do any resolutions to make everything work.
Okay,
Okay,
Ohio billing needs them first.
all right, so both those bills we're gonna have fiscal officer Lowry take a look at and get back to us. And then the other one that's open, the other open bill, can we talk about that one too? When you look at these, can you look at all three?
Well, is the other one, the one was discussed in executive
Yeah.
session? I don't know if we have that one. I'm thinking we do, but I don't know if we do or not.
so that one is still open at Ohio Billing.
But
They
they-
have
okay,
not billed it
they haven't
out.
billed
We
it.
asked
that's
them
gonna
to
say.
pause it.
So it's
Oh,
still
okay,
open.
that's right, we asked them to pause.
So they every month or so.
They're
they email
saying, hey,
me,
we've got an
what do
open
we do?
one.
And I say,
Yeah.
So we have three.
Do we need to ask Ohio Billing to go ahead and bill it so we know what it is, so we can look at it? Is that the next step on that?
The office, myself and Sue, we need to talk to Ohio billing to see which is the best way
Okay,
and our options. Then I bring it back to you guys.
all right, so two bills are here. And one bill's open at
Yes.
Ohio Billing. Okay. All right. We will come back to this the next meeting and hopefully have some answers on a few of these things.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You have to give Brian
I will,
copies.
I'll make copies of them after that.
Great.
I had a question, and this was brought to my attention. So we had done the recruitment and retention payments. And when we had initially done that, we had said if someone was no longer employed with us, we were not doing those checks.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Okay. We paid someone who doesn't work for us. I got the pay stub for it. So obviously we can't
Okay.
get that money back, but going forward, we need to make sure we're only.
What's this?
So when we did the $300 quarterly recruitment and retention checks, we paid someone that doesn't work for us anymore. Like, I
That
got the
someone,
pay
are they
stub for it.
officially gone?
Yeah.
Because I had the
Yes.
list.
Yep.
In front of me and I didn't pay one person. Did I not pay the right person?
I got a pay stub for Fernandez, and she does not work here. We accepted that. It's been several months ago. She does not work here. But I got a stub that we paid her this time.
Because all the ones I had that were active, there were some people that weren't officially off of our records. And that's the ones I looked at that were here in that time frame. But I don't have anything. I want to make sure I have a resolution saying she's left. If she does.
Yeah, they just from the meeting,
Yeah.
but
I just want to make sure someone else, we only had one person.
Because you
off.
made a mention that one person wasn't getting paid and everything adjusted.
And then I
Finances
adjusted the numbers on the third quarter.
Right. Okay.
And I want to make sure that the right person got paid because there was one person less that didn't get paid. Maybe they should have gotten paid.
Okay.
So I need.
Well, if you want to take a look at that, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Took it.
Okay. I talked to Randy a little bit today. He said he still needs to get that gusset welded on the compressor.
Okay.
We didn't forget about it.
Okay.
And I know we talked before, the wax on the floor is happening and you
it's
guys
done.
done. Great. And I know we were waiting for nice days to get the door done so we could have it pulled out.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
But we have the door though.
We do. We have everything we need.
Great.
It only took 3 tries to get the right stuff.
Okay, great.
So
Paint the door yet?
we have not painted it. We were going to hang it.
Hang it, paint it. Okay.
I'll ask Dan. I work with Dan on Friday.
I ask him, I usually paint mine before I hang them.
I'll ask him Friday.
It's easier.
I believe that. Yeah, I work with him Friday, so I'll see what his plan is. I know A, we were waiting on the weather, and B, he's gonna have to do it on a day he's not on shift because we can't
Not have
take
it.
it off and then leave.
And then leave. Have the door not there. Any word on the ambulance?
No.
Okay. All right. Anything else for fire?
I just want to mention, if you look at the back on the run volume, that we, for whatever reason, this time there were 5 times that we had 2 calls at the same time. Like I highlighted them all.
You went to 100 Orchard 8 times.
In 2 weeks.
That's the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had kind of been watching that number because we obviously had a bump in our population, a bump in a highly medically necessitated population. And I had kind of been watching that number and we got hammered
yeah.
at that address.
Was it different people or the same people?
Different
Really?
people for the most part. I don't have apartment numbers on all of those unit numbers,
Yeah.
but like several times Louisville had to come over and handle the calls there. So we obviously had a big bump in our population and didn't really do a whole bunch to change our staffing model. So it's going to have an effect on us. I don't know what in the world was going on this time that we had so many second calls. I mean, those weren't even times where we had issues with our own staffing just before they even went on a call. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, and by the way,
It rang twice.
here's another one.
Yeah.
So those ones were all like handled, transported by the other unit because we didn't have a second
Okay.
ambulance. So
So second call for you.
yeah, like our ambulance was already tied up.
Yeah.
I can see it like at the one above it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And some of them, like the other day, I just went from my house and handled the second situation because it wasn't a squad call. Like I just went out and handled it. So we didn't have to call mutual aid, but those were all just times. I mean, we had mutual aid twice on other calls and then 5 times when we were out. So
Okay. Well. Okay.
that's just not normal. for
Yeah.
us.
I think I don't know I don't know if it means anything, but it would kind of be nice when you go to Orchard to have the apartment number. So when we look back,
We
kind of.
can,
yeah.
it's just those ones, I pull them from the report. It just means they didn't have it in the report. If I could.
Yeah.
place
Okay.
this
Right.
back in
Yeah,
the
it'd be
report,
kind
I
of
can.
because it's all the same address, but there's all those residents? Yeah,
Yeah.
They're all,
yeah.
there's like 50, 40.
40. Okay. All right. But that's still a lot. 8 times a,
There's 40 more apartments and a lot of them have 2 people in it.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was a bump in our population.
Yeah, we
There's probably 60.
bumped 60
Yeah.
people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for fire? Thank you. I'm excited for a new ambulance. Hope that shows up soon.
The ambulance is coming.
I hope.
It gotta be.
I hope.
Just an update, I'll mention it about American Funds. I was supposed to do the report at the end of this month. I got
Okay.
on there, I opened it up. I was able to file everything to update,
Great.
but I didn't get all of it done. Because in the middle of doing all that, they said now we have an extension to July of 2025
Oh, good.
to file a report.
Oh, that's good.
I still plan on filing the report at the end of this month though.
Okay.
Because I missed the one report earlier, just to give them an update on all the things we spent money at American Rescue.
Great.
So
I can follow up with Derek.
Great. Do we have a cemetery report tonight?
well, I know they started mowing here, but I don't know if they mowed Mapleton today by any chance, Stu. I know you drove by.
They hadn't done Mapleton. They did
Okay.
Indian Run and they did here. I don't know about
All
Wildwood.
right, they did start mowing though. I knew
Yes,
mowed
they
here.
did start.
And we did get collection from the last meeting. Brian dropped off 2 payments, one for the Shear family, and there was someone else he dropped off, a lot purchase. I'll get those names for you, because I thought he was coming tonight, but I'll get them for you. Other than that, that's it. The
Okay.
mowing started.
Great. Road report, Mr. Unkelfer.
Good evening, everybody. The trustees have looked over the road report. Is there any questions you'd like to ask?
What kind of tanks did you pick up out of the ditch on Maple Grove?
What's that?
What kind of tanks?
They were big, like 200-gallon tanks, plastic tanks.
Really?
They're sitting up here.
Were they cracked
Do
or
they
something?
what? Do they what? Fuel tank?
Like water tanks.
Water tanks.
They
They're
just blow out
plastic, like
somebody's
in
truck?
those totes in a sense, but they don't have the metal around them.
Yeah.
Yep, like a toad insert. Yeah.
Yeah,
You think
something
they
like
just
that.
blew out or something?
Yeah, right.
On purpose. Pushed out. Pushed out.
Yeah, a little help with the
Oh.
wind.
Okay.
Somebody dumped trash. We just got a call that somebody dumped 3 couches and some tires out on Mapleton Street right there below Parker's. The grain bins there
Yep.
before coming up to Dean's.
Uh-huh.
Did you?
I did. I just asked.
Did you pick them up for us? Oh.
You misunderstood.
I heard. I heard. Help me.
Okay. All the mowing stuff's looking good.
We've been working on all the equipment, changing fluids,
Great.
going over everything. We're pretty close to being ready to go. We've been cleaning ditches over on Hill Church. I'm trying to get Hill Church and Mapleton Street.
Yeah.
Ditches, a lot of ditches cleaned out because those 2 roads are getting done for sure here for chip and seal, and they
Okay.
really need a lot of cleaning out.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you gonna give us that list here soon?
Yeah, pretty soon.
Okay.
You mean the road list for chipping and sealing?
Any,
Mhm.
I hate to ask because I'm afraid of the answer. Do you need to spend any money or?
No, I didn't want to get kind of up and on.
Such a nice guy. Just such a nice guy.
Just give me the list. I want to see.
But we
what our
can,
budget is.
we know, we need to talk about the, submitting that
Salt.
salt.
Okay. We need some conversation on that road salt quantity to submit.
And that's for going into 2025, right, Brian?
Yeah, this is for 20, we need to. put this
2024 and
between
2025.
24 to 25.
And this is with the new,
And
The
this is
New
our-
vendor, right?
Yep.
New vendor.
A little update on that vendor, they sent me the emails, that I'm just looking at it real quick, but the email reflects that they used to have, it looks like maybe 15 or 20 in their co-op. Now with all the townships and other one on there, they have 66 entities.
Oh, wow.
So
group.
hopefully that gets a good
Numbers are
pricing
going up,
number
yeah.
for us. last year, we set that number at 750 ton, and then we bought our minimum. Well, I shouldn't say we bought our minimum.
We bought over our minimum.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
bought
we bought
over the
over.
minimum.
Yeah.
The year before, we had a minimum.
Right.
Because we only had a few hundred ton.
Right, because we didn't have to really.
But we,
But since it's full, we don't need that 750 mark, right?
Right,
I would say no.
about 4 or 5.
And trustees, what I'm looking at, if we used a number like 500 ton, that means a minimum would be 400 ton. I would ask Stu, in a best case scenario, if we didn't use any salt, can we handle 400 ton around here or something?
Oh, yeah, you have to take it if you don't use any.
You know, we're still gonna use some next winter.
Yeah, we're gonna use at
So-
least 500 tons.
Yeah, we're gonna use at least 400 to 500 ton.
All right, and so if we order 500, we can go above it
By how much?
by
Right
Brian?
below.
105%.
120%.
120% above or below, right, Brian?
So that takes
No,
us
not
to
120
620.
below. You gotta be at,
120 above.
you only go 80%.
So if
So it's
we
like 20%.
if we do 500, we should be good there.
I would say so.
That gives you 1,100 ton on the high side that you could order. Say
Okay.
that Ben empties out, Stu could fill it.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I like the 500.
You want, we need a motion for that?
Yes.
I'll make a motion. How do you want the verbiage of this to go? This is a
This is with the new company. It's called
What's the-
CUE.
CUE,
Yeah, it's
okay?
they're brief. It's, I'm trying to look.
And this is an estimate, correct? This is
This is an estimate for them to do their bidding.
This is an estimate bid, okay.
Yeah.
Trustee Varian moves to put in an estimate bid of 500 ton for the 2025 year to the CUE company.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call, please.
Griffith,
Yes.
Varian,
Yes,
thanks.
great. All right, anything else for road?
Not this time.
All right,
What are we doing with the grant that's not completed yet?
oh, we got an email on that, yes.
You
Did,
need 4 park. So.
Yes.
For parks, yeah.
The notice that I just received, and I sent it out to everybody. I haven't got to talk to Randy on this latest one that got here on Friday to me. It just shows that we were approved. And it looks like, when I say we, the group was approved it, if I'm reading it right. That's why I wanted Randy to look at it. But you know how they do their point scoring and all that stuff? It looks like, let me pull it up here.
Well, it said it wanted us to self-score and we didn't do it.
Well, see all those ones there, Trustee Griffith, you see the ones that are blank? I'm
Yeah.
not sure what it is, so they're taking and saying it's 98,357. Now, I'm assuming that's between us, Paris, and Nimishillen. That's the way that would work. But we have that opportunity to question or look at it.
Is Washington supposed to be in on this at all?
I don't think they were.
Okay, just making sure.
So do we need, what's our action on this right now? What do you mean,
Well,
Brian?
I wanted to, I didn't realize Trustee Pure wasn't gonna be here, but it says if you believe your score list below in red is in error, then please reply directly to this notification as soon as possible, no later than this Thursday, April 25th. So I sent it to Trustee Pure and all of this, so
Okay,
if you
It has
want.
red on it.
so is it,
Yeah,
if you go down to the bottom there, it says only respond if there's an error? If you believe your score listed below is in red is an error, so it's in red, but they're saying the number in red, if it's in an error, then please reply directly to the notification as soon as possible, but no later than. Allow for time to respond. No, it's just, hey, what a grant waiver. So if we don't think it's an error, we don't do anything. Is that the number we applied for, that 98,000? Do we not know?
I'll be honest with you, I was letting Trustee Puro
Okay.
and him and Mr. Kiko, I believe. Those are the two that are attached.
Okay.
Yeah, it was,
Well, let's ask Randy if that 98,000 is on par for what
on
we,
par with what we want to do.
what we want to do. Yeah, if that 98,000's close, I think.
But
It's
I
not,
don't
we
know
got to
how-
turn it in by 25th. That's only 3 days.
Yeah.
Because it's got some blanks. Slide clear over, Brian, once.
There you go. Oh, the number in red is 36, not 98,000.
So they're only getting 36 points out of 100. So I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I see that. Amount requested 10. Loan assistant, well, useful life. We need to have Randy look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to have Randy look at this. Ability and effort, health and safety. See, like loan assist is 0 out of 10, but it's not a loan.
This grant, the one that originally was applied last year was denied, that original one that
Yeah.
we did jointly. This is the one I think the Trustee Baum from Pike was helping him with.
Okay,
I forget what the request could be up to. I think it's $500,000, depending on like Nemichelle and how we all put it in there. But that's what I got sent. I'm just attached to it, so I'm not sure what all they put in there.
all right, well, let's ask Randy, and he's gonna need to respond by the 25th because that's a couple days from now.
Because Trustee Griffith, wouldn't that mean that we're still going to get something, but it won't be the full amount, that 98 or?
No, when I read that up there, it said that if you're in red, I don't know, but it says if you want to put it through like this, at this point, they're not saying who's getting what.
Yeah.
This is your last chance to correct some things before it goes to
Gotcha.
the pot.
Correct it before it's looked at to be approved or not.
Correct.
Okay.
Just, I know Stu's going to be wanting to get the numbers and the roads. We need to kind of figure that in to help him when we're preparing the proposals for the roads that need chip and sealed and any road leveling and other projects that need done out of the road program. And it helps me as a fiscal officer know where I need to put the funds at. Because even though this is approved, sometimes you get paid directly to the vendor. Other times it's accredited to us, but we still have to have some money maybe for in-kind work and things like that.
So this is going into a pool, and they're not approving them on an individual basis. They're approving them as a pooled group. So they must have, we'll say they have $1 million. They're going to throw everybody into a pool if they approve the pool. So their grant could be missing stuff and still get approved.
Gotcha. All right, let's give it to Randy.
But I don't know what that dollar amount is there, so.
Okay. All right, moving on from the road, zoning report.
Since last meeting had quite a few phone calls, but one permit for adding antennas on towers, like we've done in the past, it doesn't change the height or footprint, so there was no fee for it.
Okay.
On the nuisance side of things, over on Sindel, I did talk to the renter, make sure he's aware not to bring anything in or anything like that. And I reached out to C&D and have not heard back yet. But I will be sending out another letter to them, which is
Okay.
about cleaning up more. They
Yeah.
are getting the one brick building cleaned up. And I know they took a roll off of stuff out there, but I don't know if it was stuff in the building, but there's stuff piled up behind on the hill, and it's eye catching now because the sun
Yeah.
hits it.
I drove by the other day. I was surprised how much stuff was there on that property.
So I'll be sending out a letter to them. And then, on the commission side, we did send language to regional planning for them to review, and we will be having our hearing at the next meeting for that language.
Okay.
And that was taken from the Ohio Township Association, stuff that they had reviewed by lawyers themselves.
All on solar.
Yeah, it was their sample draft.
Okay. Do we need to
And then
put,
we had to take it and make it ours.
a hearing in?
We have to
motion
wait
for-
till the
It's-
commission has theirs and deciding.
Okay, no,
if
it's
they're
not to
gonna
us
move
yet.
forward.
Okay, all right. So we've made it our own enough to get it turned in and have them check it out. Okay. All right. All right.
But that said, if the commission does send it to us when they have their meeting on May 20th,
Mm-hmm.
it would come to us. Do you have those dates?
I didn't bring,
It would come to us, and we would have to set our hearing date.
I believe,
The next
last meeting in June.
We would have a meeting the 27th on, well, it's Memorial Day.
Um,
It's the 28th.
we would have to set our hearing date, but it would be in June, probably the 24th of June.
Okay.
So we need to make sure everybody was here that date.
Okay.
Because we have to do that 30 to 45 days too.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I'm glad we're getting moving on it because it is a hot topic.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for zoning?
That's all I have.
Great. Okay, thank you. Old business.
I'll make a comment on our Succo's property investment.
Mm-hmm.
And we're each month gaining a significant amount with that change in value. So it's
Mhm.
growing
That is
nicely.
great. Something else for old business that I probably should have added, but I just want to give a quick update. After listening to the last meeting and talking about radios, I called East Canton graduate friend of mine, Brad Candle, who runs the Staley Company. And we chatted about radios a little bit, and I think this has something to do with the road and the fire, so I'll bring it up now. He said that there is in fact an antenna on that water tower, which is the fire department's, which is not being used, or the township's. And there is a updated antenna on that tower as well, that is the school's, which was updated recently. So he said, if you stand back and you see the green one, that's the new one. And so we talked a little bit about Mark's system. We talked about the radios that we already have. It's in Brad's opinion that if we were interested in having him or his team come out and take a look at what we have and talk about an upgrade on that antenna, he thinks that we can get the road radios back in order and not go to the Marks. I think he said right now a truck radio at Marks is $5,000 a truck. He said it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
We should be.
He said there's big municipalities that will only have a Marks, one or two Marks to float around, and the rest of them are all.
The bus garage went and had the new antenna put on and stuff, and they
Yeah.
tweaked and looked at the radios
Right.
and the buses, and everything's working great now.
Right. So his opinion was, you
I would
know,
think we should be able to do that ourselves too and
Yeah.
save a lot of money and just go with, we have to
So,
get a new antenna.
obviously he's in it to make money, but it's his business. So, I mean, he would come out and take a look. He said we may need to replace the current radios that the trucks have if they're too old.
Yeah, they're pretty old.
But he said it's $700-800 a radio, not $4,000 or $5,000 radio.
We don't know though. We don't know that they're not.
But he said he did say
Once
that
he, once he does the antenna and stuff, he can tell whether those radios are gonna work right or not.
in his opinion, that water tower is perfectly placed. And he said, you really should have coverage in all of the township if the antenna is working.
Oh, yeah, it used to, we had no problem back in the day.
Yeah. So we don't have to talk about it tonight, but that was the update from the last meeting. I called Brad and chatted with him, and very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff in the radio world. So,
Thank you for doing
so
that.
yeah, great. Any new business? Seeing none? Any correspondence? Seeing none? Anything else for the meeting before we adjourn? Seeing none, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
Griffith motions to adjourn and pay bills.
Trustee Barry, second. Roll call?
Varian?
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Question for you real quick?
Mhm.
What does our zoning book say about signage?
You're
And
still
if I
on
need to
the
pull a
tier
permit,
one.
can I-
Still on.
Oh, it's fine. Can I pull a permit for a sign?
Is it for the orchard,
Yes,
orchard agricultural?
we are, but I didn't want to put something up and not ask.